As you can see behind me, we had this cherry tree taken down. We also had the trees around the driveway up by the house, all those big sugar maples pruned up. Weren't intending to do this project this year, but it ended up being a good idea to do it after all. So let's take a look at some before, during, and after clips of the whole process. So here's a view of the driveway. A lot of the lower limbs on these sugar maples were hanging down and threatening cars. There was also dead wood up in the tops. This tree is right next to the house and has limbs going into the house or toward the house, and as well as dead wood. And then here's another view of the driveway, just showing how those limbs hang down and could impact vehicles. This is the cherry tree prior to being cut. It provided actually some shade to the garden, and here's why we needed to get rid of it. You can see my hand going in here. There is a hollow, rotten spot right between the two trunks. You can see the split going down the side of the trunk, and then I can even stick my finger in down at the base. So when I discovered that, that's what made me make the decision to pull the trigger to have these trees removed now instead of later, because we didn't want this expense now. They dropped the cherry from the top down and did quite a good job of keeping every piece out of the garden and away from the buildings. They even put the firewood-sized pieces in a decent pile so it'll be easy for me to work with later. Here things are all cleaned up over the driveway. You can see all the spots where limbs were cut off of the sugar maple trees. Nothing hanging low over the driveway anymore. Here's another view where you can look down the driveway and just see the difference, and looking back the other way. So a lot nicer in terms of not having limbs over the driveway. Here's all the wood from the cherry tree laying on the ground next to the garden. Quite a bit of firewood coming out of that, and even some firewood from the maple as well. And here's looking at that stump, we can see the split in the tree right here where I could stick my hand in before. And then as we come down and look at the base, you can even see there was some soil down inside there where that had rotted in the center. Having moved the maple over to the cherry, this is the complete pile of firewood that needs to be processed. Bunch of cutting and splitting in my future.